Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
Why, hello, friends. The Phillies are on a solid run. They're 23-10 in their last 33 games. They win another series. That's 8 series out of 10. There were no excuses this afternoon as they took on the Washington Nationals. They won 5-3, and damn it, there were no excuses. You have to destroy that baseball team. And thankfully, the bullpen as a core said, hold my beer. Okay, Bailey Falter in the first couple of innings played with fire, did allow a couple runs. It got a little bit nervous. I got a little bit nervous when watching him in certain situations, but he limited it, which was fine because Darick Hall is a Hall of Famer. I'd rather pitch to Barry Bonds, bases loaded, than Darick Hall. He smacks one to center field, knocks in some how do you do, and then, of course, the home run for some insurance later on in the action. Wow. Darick Hall, wow. The bullpen, wow. They handled their business. Now, you're talking about a switch up with their pitching matchups over the weekend because of what's in the foreseeable future with Toronto. I love Rob Thompson trying to sell us that Gibson needs a day off. He needs a day of rest. That's really what he was trying to say. He needs some rest. Yeah, okay. You mean he's incapable because he's unavailable to pitch in Toronto. We're not stupid. All right, so we'll look at what's happening here against the St. Louis Cardinals, and that's a massive series, and that's sort of how I looked at this Washington. Handle your business. Okay, now it's a big one. Now it's a fat, emotional series, no doubt about it. Let's see what this team is made of. Let's see what they're capable of. You just saw this same exact squad in your building, and you did a damn good job. Now, though, they're mad at you, they're upset with you, and you're on the road. Tough spot to play, passionate fan base, they're in the hunt, do something about it. So I'm trying to learn what this is all about, what this team is capable of doing when they play at their peak level with their current roster. Show me something in St. Louis. I did feel there was a big slap in the face when the Phillies were down 1-0. Rhys Hoskins has an amazing double in the gap. It's now second and third, 0 outs. And because there was a time in this season where it was on brand to screw up those scenarios and come away with 0 runs, and it just felt like the team fell into a funk as an entire unit, I thought, please don't tell me that was resurfacing. Please don't tell me this is going to be a part of the next week or so where we've seen it before, right? Bases loaded, 0 outs, nothing. And I'm watching Nick Castellanos swing at a pitch that's 5 feet off the outside part of the plate. What do you know? That's something he does all the time. Darick Hall misses one over the heart of the plate, so both of them are swinging and missing. And JT Realmuto grounds out. Please, come on, really? Now, there was plenty of game left, and there was plenty of time to bounce back from that, and I'll give them credit because it is deflating, and sometimes it sucks so much, it sucks the life out of you, and you just feel, come on, we really let that one slip, and then your entire team goes back to that moment, and it somewhat ruins the rest of the innings. Now, good teams can put it aside and realize that sometimes that happens, but we have another inning. We have another 5 innings. We have another 4 innings. Trust me, keep going, keep attacking, we'll be just fine. And eventually that was the case, as I already mentioned the Darick Hall situation, but JT Realmuto had a sac fly in there where he's getting the ball to the deep part of the outfield, which scores a run. Kyle Schwarber, okay, maybe not a home run and going the distance, but you roll one over to the right side of the infield, which allows a run to score. So you do it in other ways, too. You need to get a hit. You got to put it to a certain side, put it to a certain side so we can play a little bit of small ball. So while JT did ground out and we thought maybe there would be a run, and there wasn't. Well, when he got a sac fly, that is just as important, and they were able to tie the baseball game up throughout some of those small ball situations, which gives you a nice round of applause. And from there, Darick Hall did his thing, which was awesome. And I want to look at the fact that when you keep getting this type of thought, who cares? It's just the Nationals. The Mets play the Nationals. The Braves play the Nationals. The Marlins play the Nationals. You can't look at the entire division and make a comment that all these teams are winning, all these teams are playing great, and then look down upon the Phillies when some of these teams that you're referencing who are putting together good streaks are playing the team or playing a team like the Nationals in that run, and then discredit the Phillies. For any of the Phillies fans out there that don't feel excited about this series win, because unfortunately, and I hate to bring it up because it's possibly a small minority, but they're loud and they're all over the place. They're in the YouTube comments. They're on my social media platforms. They're tweeting at me. I'm getting some text messages in a group chat, my Instagram DMs. You won't believe the type of stuff that I'm seeing. Who cares? They suck. Didi blows. Yeah, Didi's hitting a triple off the wall. Now, Juan Soto should have caught that baseball. You're right. Oh, what's that? Sometimes players make bad plays out in the outfield. I mean, you would have thought today that Odubel Herrera. I don't want to go down this track. But I'm just saying, if you listen to any sort of Philadelphia sports media today, you would have thought that Odubel Herrera made the Nationals a 9-run inning last night. Come on now. Juan Soto, one of the best ever. I saw someone say, I'm going to put out a thread of all the plays that amazes me out of Odubel Herrera with stupidness. And I am not defending Odubel as if he's the smartest baseball player in the world. He does not think the game very well, and he does make mistakes. My point is, the guy's been in the league how long? And what is he? How old is Odubel Herrera at this point? Odubel Herrera age. He's, 30 years old. Wow, I can't believe he's 30 years old. So he has been in this league for how many seasons now? Since 2015. So that's 7 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 7. The guy put together a thread of 6 plays. And one of them, he actually made a catch during a no-no. It was just a very hideous catch, but he made the catch. So in a 7-year span, you came up with 6 clips. I mean, trust me, the guy has a mental block. He doesn't think the game well, and he's over. At this point, you don't think he'll grow out of it, and he can maybe blossom into a center fielder that you rely. I gotcha. But I'm just going to go back to people make mistakes in Major League Baseball. Juan Soto just did it today. The way people spoke about Odubel Herrera, you would have thought that he is the absolute... Oh, just put Mickey Moniak in there. Odubel stinks at offense anyway. Well, Odubel stinking, hitting about 230, and Mickey Moniak stinking, which is about 125. Think about that. You're right. Odubel isn't a good baseball player offensively right now. And yeah, he has downs, and when he's hot, it's okay. When he has downs, it's really horrendous, and I really haven't seen that much of the hotness so far this season as we're halfway through the 162. But I just think it's so overblown. So over. His mistake is the same as somebody else making 15 mistakes. And I just think at some point, let's be a little bit more logical on the blame game and a little bit more logical on what's going on out there. Unfortunately, Bohm isn't a reliable third baseman, where at times you have to play Veerling over at third base. So he can't be your everyday center fielder. And Mickey Moniak blows, even though he had that infield hit getting on top of the ball to keep, to keep the Phillies with some juice there and some momentum. But holy hell. Yes, 2K11 in the chat. I do know that Odubel has baggage with outside of the sport. I'm talking about it in a sense that we know Dave Dombrowski and John Middleton and this franchise are willing to play him. And knowing that that's part of the equation, then what occurred in a previous setting, which is disgusting, is already noted, but they're very willing to play him. So I'm basing this conversation with knowing that information in totality. That's all. But anyway, this bullpen is crazy. Now, Falter going 4 innings pitched. Like I said in the beginning of the show, he was playing around with some fire, whether it's hitting guys, bases loaded, but only Michael Franco does the damage, so it's 1-0, where it probably should have been 3-0. And that pitch that Franco hit over the heart of the plate probably should have been crushed for even more than that. Probably could have left the ballpark, with all due respect here to Bailey Falter. But he got out of it with 1 run. Then there was another situation, and it's like, okay, it's 2 runs. Probably should have been 4 or 5 runs. And then your bullpen. Nick Nelson. How about that? With some long relief, couple innings. Alvarado, 3 Ks. Who's your father? What's he do? Brad Hand allowed an earned run. But that's okay. Just 1 earned run out of your pen when your starter only goes 4 and you're utilizing Bailey Falter, who's already shipped back to AAA. And then Sir Anthony. Are you serious with that effort? Not only is he making a play with his glove, with a shot that goes right back at him, but on top of that, Juan Soto doesn't know what to do. Juan Soto's confused. He's not even swinging his bats. He's staring at it, dazed. And then when the 100-mile-per-hour pitch is within the strike zone by feet, not inches, not centimeters, by feet, and he's baffled by it, he looks back as if, what, was that in the strike zone? Excuse me, was that in the strike zone? What? You probably could have fit 3 pitches underneath and to the side of it. That still would have been in the strike zone. Sir Anthony Dominguez is filthy. All right, this dude is unreal. The emotions that I have when I see him take the mound, it's the same as watching Darick Hall right now. The couple of pitches that he hit to center field that didn't go over, do you see, too, when they show the replay and you see how strong and smooth and quick his hands can be throughout the zone? Damn! It's pretty remarkable to think about. And we brought this up when Bryce Harper went down. The Mets didn't make any excuses when losing some starting pitching. The Braves in years past didn't make an excuse when Ronald Acuna Jr. went down. What did they do? Players step the hell up. Welcome in, Darick Hall. Stepping the hell up. It's a big bat. Not only is it just a meaty bat, it's a left-handed bat. It's a lefty, too. It brings more versatility to the table with how you put pieces throughout the top of your lineup. Because when I was hypothetically trying to figure out what they should do, I was always stuck at some point, whether it was Bohm, Rhys Hoskins, Castellanos, JT, righty, 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 righty. The fact that you have the possibility of having that big stick in the middle of your lineup being from that side of the plate, it breaks up what you can do throughout. And Didi, that pitch that Juan Soto messed up on and looked lazy with that approach, he was just shy of going over the wall. Once Didi sees it happen, I'm telling you, the floodgates are going to open. That was a big-time triple out of Didi. His defense, too, doesn't get the respect that it deserves. He makes a mistake. He had that bad throw when he threw off foot, off balance, and Rhys Hoskins didn't get off the bag, and that was costly. This was a ways back, but, of course, that's what everybody remembers. Everyone remembers the negative stuff way more than the positive things with certain players. And with Didi Gregorius, I'm telling you, once he gets going, it'll be all right. And you say, well, it's already halfway through the season, Birds. Yeah, but he's missed some time with some injury. And I know that's part of the difficult conversation with Didi because, yes, he is older in his career. But I also feel part of why he hasn't hit the home run yet is more than just the lack of games played and the lack of availability, but him battling through this and not being 100%, but still out there competing. And I still see a ton of responsibility out of him and a huge, important piece to the clubhouse. There's a lot of praise that I give to Kyle Schwarber because of what he means personality-wise. You may not like Didi Gregorius, but there's a lot to be said about the Bryson Stotts, the Rhys Hoskins, the Alec Bohms. When Didi Gregorius is there and he's speaking and he's chatting and he's a part of that leadership crew, there's a lot of value within the clubhouse to win 8 of 10 series, to be 23-10. His presence does matter to the core. I do believe that. All right, before we kind of continue here, to my Broads Media listeners out there, I've got the guy for you that you may not need today, but you'll need him one day. You guys know I'm a hockey guy, and hockey connected me with Zach Green. We grew up in the same area playing hockey. Fast forward a few years, one of us is yelling into a microphone with a bandana, and the other one is helping you get the justice you deserve and that you are entitled to. I'm talking about Zach Green of Javerbaum Law Firm. Zach is an experienced attorney who will personally handle your case if you or a loved one have been injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or if you have been the victim of medical malpractice. Now, you may be saying, yeah, I was in a car accident, but I feel fine. Be careful. You'd be surprised to learn how many injuries start way after the accident. If you were in an accident, had a medical issue go wrong, do yourself a favor and reach out to Zach to discuss the case. It's free to call him, and if you may be entitled to a settlement, he will let you know. Make sure you call Zach at 609-790-3895 or email him at zgreen@lawjw.com. You can check out his information. It is down below in the description. The NHL draft is going on tonight, so that is a main focus of mine. And for all you Flyers fans that are also Phillies fans, be on the lookout because I will be discussing what they did in the first round tonight and what happened throughout the NHL draft. So I just want to make sure that that is a notice for sure. Let's see here. Let's go to the chat just to get a couple of your thoughts. If you have any questions for me, you can leave them in the chat right now. I'm not going to be taking any phone calls on this episode because of how many moving parts there are for me tonight. So I'm going to lay low on the phone calls. If you do have any questions, though, I will gladly discuss them with you in the chat as we do these shows live. 2K11 asks, when's the last time the Phillies actually drafted and groomed a successful center fielder? They haven't. They haven't. That's why we're in this predicament. You are all fair and right to say that Odubel does not deserve to still be here. The fact that he has played as many games as he has in a Phillies uniform, it is a disgrace. Once again, though, I'm using the knowledge and the information that he is here because of the other failures within your franchise. And I explained this yesterday. Matt Klentak and Andy McPhail sucked so badly that you're here. And unfortunately, he is still one of your best options based off of where your roster is today. Unfortunately, I don't prefer this. This is not something that I'm screaming that I demand. I don't want him in the lineup every day. I do think that there is a sometimes. Now, if everybody performed, then Odubel Herrera batting at the back of your lineup or whatever isn't the biggest. If Castellanos and JT and Bryce Harper was out there, all these things played out into fruition, you screaming about Odubel Herrera isn't as loud and it's not as big of a care because other guys are carrying you as they are supposed to. When Nick Castellanos stinks it up, when JT stinks it up, well then, yeah, of course, you're going to start peeling the layers back and then other things will frustrate you and it's 9 things really make more of the frustration list because of it all, and I understand that. I don't want this to be the case. It is because every other option just flat out stinks. And maybe Dave Dombrowski changes that at the trade deadline by going out. Moonrock wants to know if I think Bohm at some point will be traded, even in a couple of years. He's iffy. If he doesn't show more, if this is Alec Bohm, in a hypothetical world, if this is Alec Bohm, can I see a potential trade down the road? Yeah, I do, yeah. I'm not holding on to Alec Bohm if this is what he is. A bad defender who hits singles and is about a 265, 260, 262 type of hitter. If that's what he is, it's a very movable piece. That's not franchise changing to the point where I need him. You could find 260 singles throughout the league. So if there is somebody willing to give you a package or you're willing to acquire somebody, let's say, and it's interesting you bring that up because this is something I was discussing with some people today about Ohapi or a starting pitcher. If Dave Dombrowski can help out with this starting pitching with a really nice top end of your rotation piece. Maybe not a number 1, but let's say you can grab a 2 or a 3 and it's someone that you can rely on heavily. And if it's a end of the year and their contract is over type of player, would I be willing to move an Alec Bohm? Absolutely not. But if it's a number 2, a number 3, a real pro, a real professional starting pitcher in Major League Baseball, a sexy name that you think can really work together well with these other names in Nola and Wheeler, and there's some contract, there's another year to the contract, and you know you can extend him after that, and he'd be excited to be here. Would I then move an out? Definitely way more in the discussion for sure. So it's not out of the question for me if this is who he is. If there's another tier to his game and he takes a big step, I'm more intrigued by what Alec Bohm can provide. It's flirted in there here and there. Once in a blue moon, you see it. Definitely not at the rate I would love at this point into his career. You know, Alec Bohm, he's not a young cat, you know? I mean, he's a younger player, but he's not a young cat. He's 25 years old. He's going to be 26. Now, of course, there's still time here, but I'm just saying, 21, 22, my window for players, I have a lot more of a leash. I have a bigger leash. Like, hey, give him a fighter. Give him a shot. He's hitting 260, but he's in the pros. It's a big leap. He'll get there. Now, the dude's seen major league pitching enough. The guy have seen some of these pitchers more frequently than we discuss sometimes. So, you know, if we're talking in August, early August, he's turning 26. 26. Like, yo, dude, the power hasn't been brought out yet. When is it? 29, 30, 31, 32? I mean, that's a late bloomer. Now would be the time where I think it's more able to apply to his game. Like, this is when it should be happening. Bohm has little value. I don't think he has little value. I think there's still intrigue with him. You're not giving him enough credit. I may not give him enough credit in totality at times, but you're not giving him enough credit either in the league, because you also have to factor in that the Phillies have too many DHs. Not every team is stuck with the amount of just bats as the Phillies are. Now, to be fair, if you think of a DH, you're thinking of some more power involved, and he doesn't provide that. But still, there's more intrigue to a team that has a different roster compared to where the Phillies are right now, which is stuck with a lot of players that just have bats and struggle insanely in the field. But all right, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out. Hit that subscribe button, thumbs up button, SeatGeek, promo code Broads. Get yourself some tickets. Broads Media on social media. Make sure you check that out and keep your eyes out for some Flyers conversation later on. Thank you guys so much. Huge series in St. Louis. Can't wait. Catch you guys later tonight for Flyers, but catch you guys Phillies related.